All right. Welcome back, guys. I'm glad you guys are here. We're going to be doing a short video talking about this latest update for Enlisted, which has seen some balancing for bombing runs. So the biggest change, and we'll go over the changes and then I'll talk about them. But the biggest change here is that they have nerfed the upgrade for radio operators that reduced the time between call-ins. So before it reduced it by 4 times, right? So if it took you 20 seconds, it took you 5 seconds. Is that math right? That math sounds right. Then now it is instead of that, it's only reducing it by half, and that's for artillery and for bombing runs. So the frequency between calling in airstrikes is now 16 minutes without the upgrade and 8 minutes with the upgrade. So you're going to be seeing them significantly less. The average enlisted match probably goes about 15 minutes or so. So you're really only going to see this once, maybe twice a game, and 3 times if it's an exceptionally long game, which is good. And then the other changes that have happened to them. So the lead indicator is viewable from a much further distance, which is good. This is something that definitely helps AA guns, especially. The direction of AI bombers is now marked, which is cool. And then you also reduce the flying height of the bombers. Oh, and Soviet AI bombers had their bombs reduced from 100 kg to 50 kg, which is good, right? These are all good changes. I'm glad these are all changes that happened before that they wanted to go over again. And again, I mean, just first off, these are good changes. These are things that I definitely support, and I'm glad they did. But my issue with bombing runs really comes down to its ratio of skill versus reward, right? Like, when you call in a bombing run, you just press 7 and click. And then you're free to just run around and do whatever you want, and it doesn't matter, right? And then the bombing run is just called in. While you don't have to aim it. You don't have to do anything, right? While the entire enemy team now has to adapt, right? The enemy team has to build an AA gun. The enemy team has to build in, or jump into a fighter and go shoot down the enemy bombers that are now coming in. And if they don't, then it can absolutely shift the tide of the match and just blow everybody up. And I just find that to be incredibly poorly designed because it's all on the enemy team, right? Like the call-in team doesn't have to do anything, right? They just press a button and click. There's no aiming. There's no skillful call-ins here. It's just going to be called in as soon as it possibly can. Because at the very worst, right, then the worst case scenario is that the enemy team jumps in a plane and they're down a player for, a minute or two. And that can really help you take an objective in a close match. So I'm glad things are being nerfed. Right. I'm glad these are nerfed. I'm glad these aren't as powerful because they shouldn't be powerful because they are very low skill. But at the end of the day, this isn't really changing the core issue with them, which is the fact that they are so insanely low skill to use, right? Like even artillery call-ins are higher skill because they're smaller AoEs. Bombing runs are just the entire map, right? You just click the objective, it calls in, it blows everybody up. And so that at the end of the day is really my issue with it. And it also brings up the fact that this is the 3rd time these have been nerfed. Right? At what point do you just throw your hands up and throw in the towel? Right? And just say enough is enough. Let's just rework these things and have them be a better system. Right? How many times can you nerf a mechanic before you say, okay, maybe we should just rethink how this works as a whole? Right? Are we gonna eventually get to the point where we're dropping like thoughts and prayers on the enemy because they've been nerfed so much? I don't know, right? I mean, that's how I view things. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. Again, I'm glad these are being changed. I'm really happy that these are being nerfed, but it just doesn't. I mean, it's still going to be annoying, right? It doesn't fix the core issue. It just makes it less often, which is good, but still not not ideal, right? I guess is the best way of putting it. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think about, the skill involved with this and how you kind of perceive bombing runs as a whole. Leave some comments down below and do me a favor and like and subscribe, guys. I do appreciate it. But without anything else, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.